Hello, it's time for another edition of Idle Chatter, the Idle Chatter video blog, and it's Gordon here. And sorry I'm running a little late with this edition of the Idle Chatter video blog. Usually I try to get this done the night of the performances, but there have been some personal challenges this week, so I haven't been able to do that. So anyway, please forgive me. Now that I got that out of the way, it was a great week. It was a Billy Joel week. The songs of Billy Joel happens to be one of my favorite artists of all time, and certainly of the 1970s, which is kind of where my musical wheelhouse is. I love most things from the 70s, so it's a great decade for me. Anyway, with that said, I want to get into the top 10 from last night, the 10 performances, and I'll comment a little bit on each one, and I'll try to be brief and be sincere and be seated. Anyway, let's start with DeAndre Brackensick, who sang "Only the Good Die Young." I'm going to have to be honest with you. I don't quite get this guy. I know that he connects with a lot of people, but for me, one of the things that irritates me about him from time to time is his falsetto. I mean, I know he probably looks up to Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind and Fire, but to me, he's just okay. But with that said, I think he did enough last night. He'll be safe again this next week. Erica Van Pelt was the second one who performed, and she sang "New York State of Mind." She looked great, first of all. Loved the Pat Benatar haircut that she has, her hairdo, and looked great. And I liked the song. I liked her performance of it. She didn't oversing it really. It just worked overall. So Erica Van Pelt, thumb up for me, or thumbs up. I have two thumbs. Joshua Ledet, "She's Got Away." That's the song he sang. Didn't believe it. I don't think he fully embraced the song. He even admitted he didn't really know the song. So not his best performance. Great guy, great singer. Not his best performance though last night. Skylar Lane, one of my favorites, just because she's so likable. But she sang "Shameless" last night, which how many people have done that song? Quite a few people have done it. Garth has done it. Brad Paisley, I think, did it. Seemed like there was a female artist who did it. Anyway, she sang "Shameless." It was the weakest performance yet for her. I think of all the songs she's done, this was not one of her best ones. More nasally than normal. It just didn't work for some reason, and I hate that because I like her, and I think it really puts her in danger this week. Elise Testone sang "Deanna," and I have to tell you, I find her strangely attractive. There's something about her. She's a good-looking girl, and but I think one of the problems she's had, because she's not a bad singer, she's a pretty good singer, like that smoky tone of hers, but one of the problems she's had is that she's not really connected with the audience. She really hasn't, and I think that's the problem with a lot of singers. It's not that they can't sing, it's not that they, don't have some dynamic areas of their game, but she just doesn't seem to connect at this point. She hasn't had any really a big moment yet, I don't think. And that's why I think she was near the bottom three last week or the week before last. You've got to have those moments. I mean, you can sing the lights out of a song, but if you don't have that defining moment, you're going to be stuck somewhere in the middle, and that's kind of her problem right now. But I think last night was pretty good for her. But she's going to have to do more. She's going to have to find something. I think she's probably safe this week, though. But she's got to have that moment. Philip Phillips did the song "Moving Out," and it was awesome, especially the last part of the song. You could literally feel that he had enough, and he was ready to pack his bags and leave. That's why it was great, because it was so believable, so honest, if you will. But I have to agree with, I think it was Jimmy and P. Diddy that said that, sometimes, especially P. Diddy, I think he said that, sometimes a guitar can become a crutch, or I call it a pacifier. I think it can become your passy. A guitar, a piano, any kind of instrument, it can become a pacifier to you. And I know the judges kind of poo-pooed that, they disagree with that. But I think it can. There's nothing wrong in balance. Yes, a lot of times you can be defined by your instrument and by certain quirks and things that you have. But you have to learn to do that in balance. You have to kind of be a balanced person. And I could see where the danger would be for him. But so far for him, it's been pretty good. Holly Kavanaugh, she sang the song "Honesty." Thought she was brilliant until the end. Man, I don't know what happened. That the train went off the track at the end. She had that big hiccup, but she's still cute as a button. And she's from our area, from North Texas, and I'm really rooting for her. And I think she's okay for this week. I mean, it wasn't her best performance because of that, but she's done enough. She's built enough equity, if you will, to keep going. Hee Jun Han, on the other hand, I think is in real danger this week. A completely karaoke version of My Life. And I think Tommy Hilfiger was completely put out with him because the guy, I don't know how to take the guy. I know this. The song was incredibly karaoke. It was weird last night. And I think he puts himself in danger. Just because it's been 2 bad performances in a row. I think he was in the bottom few singers last week. So I think this is going to be another week for him that he should be a little worried or a little nervous, I think, about his performance. And he completely gets on my nerves. I'm going to stop here in a second, but I thought he was pretty funny during the audition rounds, but the more as we go along here, the more it gets completely annoying. Jessica Sanchez last night saying Everybody Has a Dream, and while I like her and I think she's a great singer and she has had big moments, last night was Song choice was okay. I think she got great advice from Jimmy and P. Diddy, but it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't her best performance. I think she got a standing ovation from all 3 judges, but for me, just okay. But again, she has built up enough cred and equity that she's in no danger whatsoever this week. And last but not least, Colton Dixon, who sang the song Piano Man. And you gotta hand it to him. He's a pretty straightforward guy. He'll tell you what he thinks. I disagree with P. Diddy, though. I wouldn't go out and buy his version of the song, although I think he did a pretty good job. I still think Billy owns it. But it was a pretty good performance for Colton. I like the guy. I hope he does well, and I don't think he's in any danger whatsoever this week. So, with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my top 3, bottom 3. So my top 3 for this week's show only. I'm not talking about the whole year. This week, Philip Phillips was number 1, Jessica Sanchez 2, and Erica Van Pelt 3. And then the bottom 3, hang tight, Holly Kavanaugh, Skylar Lane, and Hee Jun Han. Holly, as I said, is in no, I don't think she's in any danger, although I think she's going to be in the middle of the pack. I think the 2 that are in the most danger are Skylar Lane and Hee Jun Han. Those 2 right there are in trouble this week. I think Hee Jun Han ultimately is going to be the one that goes home. I think he's in the most danger. I think Skylar has probably done enough that she's safe for at least another week or 2. But it's going to start. This competition is going to start heating up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and there's going to be a lot of tough cuts. But for now, expect Hee Jun Han to go home tonight. If I were a gambling man, that's where I'd put my money, but I'm not. So, oh well. That's it. Have a great week. Let's do this again next week. This is fun. We'll talk to you next week on the Idle Chatter video blog. Hasta la vista. Arrivederci.